Hello everybody here and welcome to my official predictions of WWE WrestlePooza on this video here on TGI Wrestling Productions. And now my official predictions. We'll start things first. We have here as Io Sky will take on Stephanie Vaquer for the WWE's vacant Women's World Championship. And I don't really know what the storyline really is between Io Sky and Stephanie Vaquer because I didn't really watch Monday Night Raw this week, and I'll be watching that a little bit later on, of course. But this is the match card going into WrestlePooza. Due to the fact that Stephanie Vaquer, obviously, she's very, let's say, a real top talent, of course. You know, making her debut from NXT to the main roster and let's say, making a name for herself a little bit now on the main roster or the women's roster on Monday Night Raw. So that would be very huge for her to maybe go and be a potential candidate to become the winner of that match at WrestlePooza. But also Io Sky as well. Io Sky, Asuka, and also as well Kairi Sane, that group of those three women involved as well. We know that I've seen them more on TV recently, obviously with the storyline with Rhea Ripley and Asuka as well, and Io Sky was actually partners with Rhea Ripley a few weeks back on Monday Night Raw to handle business on Raw, but I've seen that happening as well. Makes it a little bit, let's say, a little conflict with the Kabuki Warriors as well. Bit of let's say a little bit of hints, of course, about maybe that Io Sky might be, let's say, the weakest link in the Kabuki Warriors, and maybe Asuka might feel jealous that she might win the championship title also at WrestlePooza at Indianapolis on the weekend. So, in my prediction in this matchup, I think that Io Sky will probably become the new WWE World Women's Champion, personally. I think that Io Sky will be the winner of that matchup, and I think she will do it, of course. So I'm going to go for Io Sky to be the winner of that match and win the WWE's World Women's Championship. Now we move on to the next predictions, of course, as we have the Usos, Yeet, and also Jimmy and Jay as well, and also the versions of Bronson Reed and also Braun Breaker. A tag team match between the Usos and also Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, obviously part of the Vision with Seth freaking Rollins as well. This match will be very big, of course, for the Usos, of course, ever since when Roman Reigns was taken out by Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed way back at the last pay-per-view at Clash in Paris, when Reigns defeated Bronson Reed, and then Braun Breaker speared him through the announce table, and then the Vision of Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed took out Roman Reigns out, and he was out injured now for a while now, Roman Reigns, due to the impact of Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker's attack after his victory way back in Clash in Paris. And obviously we know that Jey Uso was it Jey or was it Jimmy Uso, came out and trying to support Roman Reigns, and that backfired on them as well. But now, for the first time ever, for the first time in 2 years, Jimmy and Jey will team up together. And for the first time in 2 years, it's been absolutely emotional to see that Jimmy and Jey Uso were tag team champions once upon a time. They were the Usos once upon a time. And it's great, even though that Jey Uso has been having, let's say, the real, push comparison to Jimmy Uso to become the Royal Rumble winner, become the World Heavyweight Champion at WrestleMania to Gunther. But we know that it's really him more having the push comparison to Jimmy Uso. And I think, personally, Triple H should have kept the Usos together. I think, not break them up at the first place, ever since when Jimmy turned on Jey when they were part of the Bloodline way back from a year and a half ago. So I think that it's good to bring them together again, and they'll team up together to take on the Vision of Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker on that matchup. So my prediction, personally, at WrestlePooza, between obviously the Usos and also the Vision, I think that Bronson Reed and I think Braun Breaker, they are a very, very hot, team on Monday Night Raw. They've been the real hot team since Seth Rollins formed this group after WrestleMania, and having Paul Heyman alongside him as well. So I think that the Vision have got a lot more about them. They're going to probably do the damage and destroy the Usos at WrestlePooza. So I'm going to go for a victory for the Vision at that night of WrestlePooza in a couple days from now. Now we move on to our prediction between AJ Lee, returned back to WWE now for the first time in 10 years. She walked out and retired from the WWE 10 years ago, but in real life, AJ Lee and CM Punk are romantically together, and it's good to bring that into the storyline, of course, on WWE, because Becky Lynch, slapping CM Punk and disrespecting CM Punk, and Punk can't do anything because you're fighting against a woman, basically. And it's really more likely 2v1. But then when AJ Lee returned to SmackDown a few weeks back, the fans absolutely was surprised and buzzed to see that AJ Lee has now returned to the WWE. And it was way back on Monday Night Raw, after the return on SmackDown. She made a little promo speech, and then obviously Becky Lynch came out because she stole the championship, her Intercontinental Championship title away from her on her return back. And then there was a little bit, let's say, a stipulation: if I give the championship back to you, let's make this match official. CM Punk, AJ Lee versus Seth Rollins, and also as well Becky Lynch in that mixed tag team matchup at WrestlePooza. That is a very good call, because even this is a real romantic battle between romantic real couples fighting each other in this mixed tag team matchup. And it's good to bring AJ Lee back, because she was one of my favourites, I think, in the women's resolution way from the 2012 2013s. AJ Lee was probably one of my top women wrestlers at the time, and it's good to have her back in the WWE. So in my honest prediction at WrestlePooza, I think that CM Punk will go and win the matchup. AJ Lee's alongside her. The buzz, the adrenaline will be on maybe the power couple, maybe not Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins, but AJ Lee and CM Punk to get the victory. And I'm going to call for them to win at WrestlePooza against Rollins, and also as well Becky Lynch as my prediction going into WrestlePooza. Now we move on to the next predictions for the WWE's Undisputed Championship title, as Cody Rhodes will defend the championship belt to Drew McIntyre. And we know that obviously Drew McIntyre has been, let's say, attacking Cody Rhodes in the last few weeks on SmackDown, and obviously I didn't really take notice of what's really happened between Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes, but I know that these two will fight each other at WrestlePooza. I didn't see maybe the Raw's Netflix show. I need to catch up on that, but this matchup will definitely happen. For the American Nightmare will take on the Scottish Psychopath, Drew McIntyre, and if I got to go for a winner in that matchup between McIntyre and Cody Rhodes for the WWE's Undisputed Championship title, I don't really think that Drew McIntyre got stand a chance, in my opinion, against Cody Rhodes. But I do think that Cody, the American Nightmare, will win the matchup and win against Drew McIntyre, and he will capture and retain the WWE's Undisputed Championship title at the pay-per-view of WrestlePooza. Now we move on now to the main event, as we do have here John Cena. John Cena versus Brock Lesnar, the Beast Incarnate. Big man Brock returns back to the WWE at SummerSlam. And I cannot believe he returned back, because we all thought that Brock Lesnar's done now after when the allegations occurred with him, and also Vince McMahon's allegations involved in that propaganda with obviously Brock Lesnar and Vince McMahon. But the lawsuit was dropped, and then WWE decided to bring him back, and now he fused with John Cena. His farewell tour as well is nearly coming to an end now, and at the Saturday night's main event on the 13th of December this year, that will be John Cena's last match in the whole of the WWE. But what a way in his farewell tour to have Brock Lesnar fighting John Cena, because these two men have got a rivalry. You go way back in 2002 when Brock Lesnar, John Cena came together from OVW to the main roster. Obviously, John Cena had a bit of a slower start to his career compared to Brock Lesnar had. Brock Lesnar got into the main roster and he was a world heavyweight champion within a second because he was pushed very, very high, he was, in 2002. But then when Brock Lesnar left the WWE in 2004, somebody had to fulfill his boots. And John Cena was the man to do that. And that following year in 2005, he won the WWE Championship title at WrestleMania 21 against JBL. And that's why John Cena's now carried himself as the face of the WWE. And then Brock Lesnar returned back in 2012. And F5 John Cena took him out, beating him up. And then Brock Lesnar has these part-time stints now, since obviously returning back to WWE way back 13 years ago. And he had, let's say, back and forth part-time matches with a lot of superstars in the WWE. And when he had that match with Cody Rhodes, I thought when the allegations said that, you know, he's done after that matchup, I think he could have been over. It could have been for Brock Lesnar. But since he returned, surprisingly, at SummerSlam, and F5 John Cena, after his loss to Cody Rhodes, to lose the title at that night, I think that this matchup, Cena wants it badly. He wants his match to be badly him to win against Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar's a guy who wins. If you look at the statistics between John Cena and Brock Lesnar is better than John Cena in terms of a match. He can fight Brock Lesnar. You know, he can fight, he can beat people up. John Cena, he can do that as well, but John Cena's a good guy. He's not the guy, he's not as, you know, the alpha male compared to Brock Lesnar. And this will be a very, very big call on who do I think will win the matchup on WrestlePooza. If it goes to me, in my prediction going into WrestlePooza, I personally think it's going to be a tough one, but I think John Cena, since it's his last farewell tour in the WWE, and what a way for him to end his farewell tour, bittersweet, and beat Brock Lesnar at WrestlePooza. I think I'm going to call that to happen at WrestlePooza on John Cena's final farewell tour against his old nemesis of Brock Lesnar. I think John Cena will go into WrestlePooza and he will win against Brock Lesnar. What a way to do it at the end of his career, nearly so. Or maybe it could be, maybe Brock Lesnar might get the victory, maybe so. Maybe Logan Paul might come out and use the brass knuckles and punch, you know, Cena in the face, and then all of a sudden Brock Lesnar, you know, picks him up, F5s him, referee don't see it, 1, 2, 3, game over. That could also happen as well, but I don't think Logan Paul and Cena will have that match anymore now, because we wanted to see more dream matches before Cena departs in the WWE, or let's say the last one-off match before he does leave. Look at CM Punk and Cena way back at Clashing Champions way back in July. That was a rivalry from the past, and also this match was a rivalry from the past. So if I've got to go for a winner, I think Cena will definitely probably want to win this matchup. So I'm going to go for him to win at WrestlePooza over Brock Lesnar. And that's all we have time for here right now for my predictions for WrestlePooza. If you like this video, go and give my video a like. And also, if you want more of this content, go and give TGI Wrestling Productions a big subscribe. Thank you all for watching. Have a very good one. And that is it for the whole of my predictions at WrestlePooza for this weekend. Have a very good evening, everybody.